Okay, I've discovered we've got a gas leak somewhere, so I'm up. I've done shut off some valves and everything, and then pressurized the line. Pressurized it before, and everything was fine. Then went ahead and turned the propane on, and then all of a sudden we started smelling propane a few days later. So what I've got is just some Dawn dish soap and some water. Pretty good amount of soap in there to make sure it bubbles up good. And then what I found here is we pressurized that line. There's no leaks. Turn this one off and pressurize this line through here into the kitchen area, and there was a leak. I'm pretty sure I just found it. So you can see that little bubble forming there, right there. But that would be where my leak is. You can see it getting bigger. So it's small, this tiny thing, but so I'll go ahead and fix that. Just tighten that up, get that tightened up, and then I'll pressurize it again, and I'll let it sit 24 hours or so. We just go back and see if it's leaking out at all. You can definitely tell it's pretty easy. See how big that bubble's getting there. So it doesn't take much. So anyways, we'll get my pipe wrenches, tighten that up, check it again, make sure it's not leaking, and then make sure I'm up to about 15-20 pounds, and then watch it and see if it goes down again. We definitely don't want to have a gas leak. Thought everything was good on it, and then I came back and checked things, and there was a leak somewhere. So they spray foamed this, and they weren't supposed to, so I've dug out where my joints are, and then I've checked them with just water and soap, but I'm not really getting anything off that. I did find one really small leak. So I'm waiting to, I actually went ahead and turn the propane back on and let some gas leak out. And then I can not only use my sniffer, but I can also use that digital gauge that I got to see if it works. So that would be this guy. Just bought off the shelf at Home Depot. I think it was $15 maybe, something like that. So you just take the cap off, and then you hit the button, and what it's doing right now is it's calibrating. So you gotta get an open air where there's nothing hitting it. This is calibration test. And then when it's done, you can go put it next to a gas line. So I'll test it here. Okay, so now we're done. Of course, you gotta keep your tip clean and everything. And you're just supposed to take it around. Not getting anything here, so I'm going to cheat just to test and see if this thing's working. Maybe it's not working. Well, oh, ha! I had that line turned off. Oops. Okay, we're going to try this again now that I've got the gas on. I already got the tool to do its calibration thing. So we'll turn the gas on a little bit. There we go. That's a severe leak. So as the gas gets out of the sensor, I'll bet as I walk back, it's going to go off again. Since there's some gas in the air. Well, maybe not. So that seems somewhat, I mean, I don't know. I got to get a itty bitty leak though and see if it'll detect that. Yep. So that was just a tiny turn and it worked. So You just have to seem to kind of hold it there for a little bit. So I'm going to use this guy to go around and test. Hope I can find the leak that way. The soap and everything I was using, just some dish soap and some water. I mean, that does work. I did find one small leak using that method, but the problem I'm finding with all this foam on everything and cleaning everything off is proven pretty time consuming. So I've got all the joints cleaned up, fairly well, but I want to go through with the electric or the digital meter deal and see how well that works. I've been looking and looking and looking and looking for this dang gas leak, and I cannot find it. I don't know if my gauge is bad or what. I actually bought a new gauge, and I was going to hook that up, but I was pressurizing different parts of the lines, and it didn't, and it held. So I'm not quite sure what's going on, but I have used the tester. I have used soap and water. I've smelled every joint. I can't find it. It's weird. So the only thing I found was that one just pinhole leak, and I fixed that one. But I pressurized it after that, and it still leaked out. So I don't know. My thought now is the line is full of propane. So I am going to close the shut off to the whole section here. So right up on the other side of that wall there, right there's a shut off on the other side of that wall, and that will shut off the whole west side of the house. So everything, the line that goes into the craft room, the line to the boiler, the line to the kitchen, line to the dryer, will shut all those off. And then I'm going to pressurize it, put up to 20 pounds, and then I'm going to go around again and sniff everything. Use this and all that and see if I can find a leak then. Hopefully with the additional pressure, wherever this leak is, it will push more of the gas out, and then I can actually find it. Right now I'm not finding anything. So I don't know where this leak is at, or if I even have a leak, because like I said, I tested the first time and everything looked fine, and then a few days later I turned the propane on and started smelling propane. So we shut it off and found that one little tiny leak just yesterday. And I pressurized it, and it was still leaking out, and I still can't find it. So maybe I just have a crappy gauge, but we'll see. Oh, I'm in the craft room right now, and sorry, I got the calibrator thing going. I was going to check this joint here, but anyways, I'm going to tap into this. This is the leg, so the gas line comes down here, and then there's a leg there, and it comes off and up. I'm going to actually take this off. And I'm going to put another T here and put the leg down there, and I'm going to have a gas line go out, because I figured right on the outside of this wall would be a great spot for the propane generator when we get it. So with that, I'm going to need to run a power line down this wall too, or somehow, and get it out. I wish I would have thought of that beforehand. I could probably do it on the outside of the wall. I don't know what kind of siding we're doing yet, so I could maybe do it on the outside of the wall, but doing it in here would probably be easier. Propane and natural gas, they put an odor in there so you can smell them if you have a leak, because you can't smell them otherwise. And it's a pretty noticeable smell, but there is nothing. So, I don't know. Of course, to help, I took the cap off. I did that earlier. Went around and tested half the lines, realized I had the cap on. But I've already checked that one, so I'll check it again. But pretty aggravating. So I'm going to pressurize that line and then see if I can find the leak that way. Well, that worked. So I pressurized the line, only got up to 14 pounds on this joint up here. Now it's not going to do it. we go. Alright, you're fine. Calm down. So my hope here is that the union there is simply not tight. That would make things so much easier. But if I'm gonna have a leak, that's the best place to have it. Now I'm gonna take my soap again, spray it on there, and see if I can see the leak. I need a light. Okay. Yeah. Look at that. Well, like I said, this is the best place for a leak to happen, because all I have to do is loosen up that union there and then tighten the nut, or tighten the one side. Well, it's really bubbling up. So I had sprayed this before and there was nothing. Yep. That's what it's supposed to look like when you get a bubble, get a leak. So clearly the leak was small enough that when I checked it every other time, it there wasn't enough coming out for it to be detected. So pressurized a line with the gas in it and found it right away. So I knew, because I had turned the shut off in the garage on the other side of that wall. I turned that shut off, so all I was pressurizing was just this line down to there and over to this area and down to the laundry room one. I knew I had a leak somewhere in there. Like I said, I checked it several times and there was nothing. So actually I'm going to go around and check all the other joints while I have it pressurized and make sure there's no other problems in this one. All right, moment of truth. I decided to go with the Teflon tape, gas-proof Teflon tape versus the pipe dope. So it's pretty goody to me. All right, so got that leak fixed. Get some on the top there just to make sure. So hopefully that'll be into that mess. I'm gonna go ahead and leave the line pressurized, and we're at 20 pounds. So I'm gonna leave that pressurized for the rest of the day, and then see if it drops at all. Like I said, what was weird about this is I had pressurized this to 20 pounds and left it, and there was no issues. And then I went ahead and drained the line, and then we ended up turning on the gas a couple of days later, and then all of a sudden we had a leak. I ended up having 2 leaks. I was pretty damn impressed because I ran 100 plus foot of pipe and had no leaks. I thought that was pretty cool. And I ended up having 2 leaks. It's just weird they didn't show up the first time. So anyways, see how things go now. Hopefully that will hold, won't have any issues, and I can get back to work on other projects. I've still got the ERV to set and run that pipe, and then I've got the some wire. I'm leaving the wiring for Barry. Drywallers, I don't know, the 2 drawers that were supposed to show up, today's Thursday, supposed to show up between Monday and Wednesday, still haven't seen them. I'm going to try and get a hold of them again so we can keep that project going and get on someone's schedule. It's matter to do the drywall. If I can't get a hold of anyone and I'm ready to go, I'm going to start hanging some of it. Although I detest drywall, I will still go ahead and start doing something to get that ball rolling. But it is what it is.